again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Wednesday, the 8th of June's Talking Town. It's our midweek show, normally our match day preview for those that are with us not during the season, but we're going to call it the season build-up. We'll do a slow simmer to hopefully what will be a fever pitch come July 30th. We'll kick off meet some teams next week. I think Bristol Rovers going to pop on, Charlie, to tell us a little bit about them. And all sorts will be flying around. And of course, when or if this kit ever drops, I'm sure it eventually will. Our signing is made. We'll go live with reaction to those or both of those. Tonight, myself and the contributor are going to try and deliver some talking points from the world that's been talking town. A little bit of news coming out of the football club today. A player has extended his contract. We've got some preseason friendlies and everything else. As always, your comments are more than welcome. So do please get involved. I was going to play you a little advertisement, if you like, from our partners, awaydaybeers.com, but the email that had the video attached to it was in the wrong format, and I didn't realize until about 8:28 when I came to open it up and download it. So I will go to work on that, and you will see that probably from next week. But until then, don't forget awaydaybeers.com on the screen there, the beautiful beer for the beautiful game awaydaybeers.com. If you've never been there, just go and check it out. Honestly, you will thank you'll thank me probably by hopefully sending me some beers. But you can just head along there, find out what they do, and try it. Honestly, once you try it, you'll never buy a Carlsberg or a Carling or whatever your beer may be again. The chat is very busy for middle of June. EJ Norris is leading the way by becoming a YouTube member. Thank you very much, EJ. We appreciate that, my friend. Welcome to the family. Crunch is in the room. Cruncher, where's that kit? Back to reality. He says obviously he was on holiday last week. I think that rum and coke went to his head. Ben's in the room. Welcome in, Ben. How you doing? Mike D, Coxie. Hopefully got another Talking Town time machine coming to you very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I know there's many people that like the Talking Town time machine. Andy, hope the new kit is not tatty trash from Umbro. I think you might be a little bit disappointed then, Andy. I've not seen it. I don't know, but word on the street is it is Umbro. Welcome in, George, Norman. Any substance in the room of Wigan and Town are both in for Scott Twine. Well, that particular message I think was an MK Dons fan. Yeah, I know. Apparently they've got those. I mean, when we went, they didn't show up, but apparently they do have them. Apparently I was an MK Dons fan on the wind up. But as somebody said to me today, I've seen that rumor somewhere else, and where there's smoke, there's fire normally. So we'll have a little bit of a chat about it tonight. I'm not going to go too much detail because there's not much to really, go into detail on. It's quite a short conversation. Would you take Scott Twine? I think the answer is an emphatic yes. As the country says, smash the like button and subscribe, please, everybody. Oh, 8.99 from Lewis Robinson, sending lots of TT love to Vicky and her family during a difficult time. Absolutely, I've reached out to Vicky this afternoon. I've spoken to her. So there's anything I can do, just give me a shout. But yeah, all of our thoughts and prayers are with Vicky and her family. Welcome in, Ben. Hope you're doing well. On the show Monday, I said we were going to do our final prize giveaway from last season, the Prediction League, once I'd found the prize bag. Well, sadly, I've not yet found that prize bag, but it is somewhere inside the TT Towers. But I thought I can't put it off any longer. So here on the screen is our wheel of names. On the wheel of names are five. I did write it. I should know. 5 people who finished inside the top 5 places of our Prediction League last year. They were Mike Woods, who obviously won it. Mike, you'll have a separate prize as well for winning it. Congratulations once again, my man. Rob Smith, Emerson Fairweather, Ian Houston, and Paul Birch. Now, I will now shuffle those 5 names, hit the link, and let's see who else has won a prize from the Prediction League. It is Emerson Fairweather. Congratulations, sir. You have won that prize once I find that prize bag. So do message me, either DM or Facebook or however you want to do it. Get in touch and we'll do it. And we'll sort it out once I've found the bag. Right. And a quick mention for our Talking Town 5th standers, our ultra members. Although EJ has now added to this list, so these are already out of date. Amazingly, we have just finished redesigning them, as you can see, for next season, and they're already out of date. I love that. Not complaining one bit about that, EJ. So thank you ever so much to the following people. As you can see, there are our Ko-Fi and our YouTube members. If you want to be on this illustrious board, then please do hit the link in the chat. Support the show through a one-off or a monthly contribution from as little as £5, or you can do it through YouTube. Thank you ever again to George Nunn for designing these. He is a scholar and a gentleman. And as I have added at the bottom, if you are not on there and you think you should be, let me know and we'll add you as soon as possible. Right, here we go. Let's get cracking. It's the Fisherman's first appearance of 22-23. He'll have you on strings. The Fisherman, Mike Brown.
I've already said, and I've said on Twitter and whatever.
Mike, how are you?
I'm good, yeah.
Good man. He'll have you on strings. He certainly will.
No, you should have said he'll reel you in.
Yeah, no, that's far too clever for me. And probably trademark. But I associate strings when I think of you. You often have people. You had me on Sunday, to be fair. I saw you lurking in the chat.
I actually genuinely misheard what you said. I really did. And you know me, I you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But you did say, you rightly said attack. You did say build attack around him, not a team around him. I'm happy to admit I'm wrong, you know.
You see.
But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Listen to that. Look, he's first and only time probably of this season where Mike Brown admits he was wrong. I like it. Or are you starting off a year as you mean to go on?
I'll have to just dang you on that piece of string and see what happens.
You certainly will. I'm just going to write down two names I've seen in the chat, Ashley Bell and Lee Bayliss, who have just piped up and said they should be on the list. I know one of them definitely should be. That's my fault entirely. I do apologize, Lee, but I'll definitely get you both added. I'm sorry you were left off. I can only go by what the relevant dashboards tell me. Dashboard, there we go. That's sort of a vogue term these days, isn't it, Mike? You know, the dashboard.
It just reminds me of a car every time I hear that word. Dashboard's very old school, you know. Oh, how's the dashboard looking? Yeah, I've got dashboard light out, you know. Looking at my Cortina Mark III, 4 and 5, you know.
I once knew a bloke who kept pictures of his family in front of his dashboard, right? Yeah, his car blew up because he didn't know his oil light was on.
No, God damn.
Sorry.
It used to be a common thing with the old Pinto engines, you know, especially the 2 litre ones, high mileage. If you didn't keep an eye on the oil would sort of drop out at the bottom, and always either a sump gasket or a rocker cover gasket was causing a problem somewhere along the line. So
since then, I haven't actually, you know, it's always been in my mind. Do not put something in front of your dashboard because of what happened to you didn't know the engine. You know, what can you say? I mean, so if you're at home and you've got a picture in front of your dashboard, move it quickly, get it out of the way. Don't want that around your dashboard. But yeah, it's definitely an Ashtonism, I think, Mike. You know, it's a term that Mr. Ashton has brought to the football club. I said Mr. Ashton there because I forgot his first name and I didn't want to get it wrong because I'm, you know, notorious at getting names wrong. I'm thinking Mike Ashton, but it's not. It's Mark. See?
I wasn't going to say a word. I was just going to sit here and let you dig your own hole.
I nearly said Mike Ashton's the owner of Newcastle, but that was Mike Ashley.
That's Mike Ashley, yeah.
I'm wrong all ends up, whatever way you want to bring it. Jesus. See, me and
that's called old age, mine. It's called old age. Old age. I swear to God, I walked out the house. I got this Reebok T-shirt, and it's only this Reebok T-shirt I do it in. I went out. I put this T-shirt on. I get all the way to Thetford at B&M in Thetford, and my wife turns around to me and says, "You know your T-shirt's inside out." I said, "Well, you could have told me before I left the house." Do you know what I mean? That's like, really?
There you go.
It's with the old Ipswich shirt. You can't really, can't go wrong, can you?
This new Ipswich shirt? We were, certain people, on social media today dangling their own fishing rods out. It would seem, saying "Happy Kit Day," etc. Still no kit.
No, there's not even any. There's not even any. I know that I've heard that it's Umbro that's doing it, but as for who the sponsor is, don't know.
I'm a little bit.
I don't know.
I'm a little bit sort of.
Maybe it's Johnny Depp with him too on it or something. I don't know.
Look, everybody else is buying their new kits, announcing their new kits, whatever it might be, and we're sort of out over here on the sidelines, just not really doing much, like.
Perhaps I don't know. Perhaps Ed Sheeran is negotiating another deal. I don't know.
Is it? Perhaps. But
I have to say, I think this design on the front here was probably one of the best we've had in years.
I'm loving the shape.
I mean, no respects, but when you look at their other ones like Magical Vegas, I mean, really?
Yeah, well, it goes to the point where I think even Magical Vegas were embarrassed to be associated with us, weren't they?
Oh,
even they said, "Just take us off the shirt."
Oh God, yeah.
That's how bad things.
Well, wasn't pretty, was it?
No, that's how bad things got under the previous regime. Even the sponsors was just saying, "Take us off." Yeah. You missed that little joke from mine, didn't you? When I said, "Mike, I'm loving the shape of you."
Well,
Ed Sheeran.
Yes, I know.
One of his greatest ever.
I'm actually going to see him with my wife, so we're looking forward to
him already.
Yeah, I bought it for her. I bought it for her for her birthday. So
I thought you liked your wife. But
she loves him. Oh, absolutely loves him.
Yeah, says mine. Lewis Robertson, Derby situation should make us realise how lucky we are that things went through as they did with our takeover, and some of that credit has to go to Marcus Evans. Sold decent people and wrote off debt.
No, I'm not giving that man Marcus Evans a credit or ounce of credit or a gram of credit. I'm sorry, but it was a point that why he bought this club in the first place. Only God knows himself, because you've only got to see the aftermath of what Mike. You caught me calling him Mike now. Mark Ashton is picking up and on his drawing board with how much disarray the club was in and the state some of the stand was in. So I'm not giving that Marcus Evans an ounce of credit.
Okay,
not one bit.
You're not giving Marcus Evans an ounce of credit. Okay, but. For those perhaps who are just tuning in, busy day, haven't quite seen the news. Obviously, Derby's owner, well, it's not going ahead, is it? From what I can gather, so that leaves what potentially could be a rival next year, Mike, in a little bit of disarray, does it not?
Well, there's still talk of points deductions, isn't there, with Derby? I was reading
is up for grabs. It would seem with Derby. I mean, Chris Kirk, a financially stricken club in doubt. So this is the latest from BBC Sport. Chris Kirk's attempt to buy a financially stricken club, Derby County, is in danger of collapsing, despite the American understood to become confident the takeover will happen. So it is and it isn't.
From an Ipswich point of view, that's one less competition, then one less team to be competing against. The biggest problem will be obviously is if it does go through and Rooney stays, because I like I said, I think Rooney did a fantastic job with what he had, and he was unlucky not to keep the club in the Championship. I think obviously if I hadn't been given them second points deductions, they'd have still been there. But he's done a brilliant job there, and there's at the moment no players have left Derby as such, so. Who knows what will happen if the new owners do take over. That squad that are here right now, they're a very good Championship, a good mid-table type of sort of upper end sort of Championship side, and with Rooney at the helm, they've got to be favourites for promotion. So, with that respect, we have to then look at what our options are, which is second place and dare I say it, the bloody playoffs.
You're a big fan of Wayne Rooney, aren't you, as a manager?
Joe, I mean, as a person, I think he's an absolute bellend. But as a
don't mince your word, Mike.
no, I won't. But as a footballer, you can't argue what he's achieved and what he's done, and some of the goals he's scored, and that one against Man City was just ridiculous, wasn't it?
Oh
ridiculous
yeah, the overhead.
And you question whether he'd be a good manager at Derby, but you've got to look at what he had, the restraints he had, and he managed to get that squad. I think if they hadn't had the points deduction, I think that'd have just been like 13 points off the playoffs. So it ain't bad, is it really?
No, not at all. Not at all. I like Wayne as a manager. I think he's a phenomenal young manager, up and coming. Probably needs to be, or deserves certainly to be at a much higher level than England's third tier. Maybe some could even argue as a national manager, because I know you're not a big fan of Gareth Southgate, Mr. Brown.
Gareth Southgate, no, not.
I knew it was coming.
Look, I can't think of a bloody Croatian manager. I tweeted it earlier. I can't even pronounce it. But he got schooled. He got schooled in the semi-final by that Croatian manager. We were 1-0 up, and he made tactical changes that Southgate didn't know how to handle. And then in the final against Italy, Mancini absolutely schooled him. Absolutely schooled Southgate. It's the same old story. Let's score one goal and sit on it. It's so defensive, and he's on about Grealish. Oh, he's got to learn how to, he's got a bit more learning how to defend. Hang on a minute. You've got 3 centre-backs, 2 holding. How much more defending do you want?
Well, he is an ultra-conservative manager, it would seem.
No, it's too conservative. For me, like I said, I always said that we had an opportunity to get someone like Eddie Howe in as the manager. He took Newcastle, who were probably absolute. I swear to God, I had them odds-on favourites to go down, and he took them, and look what he's done with that team. Do you know what I mean? Hey, leave him on Marlon Harewood alone, yeah. Absolute goal machine. Yeah, scored. How many goals in the reserves? I forget now.
Sadly for us, I don't think they tracked the reserves back.
No. I'm not a fan of Southgate. I ain't really, not at all. And
1-1 last night.
Oh, mate, we were lucky. I mean, if we can, no, Ryan, sorry. Mancini schooled us. We were so. He knew how to play us big time. But like I said, for me, he's got to be a bit more pragmatic. He can't be so reserved and so defensive all the time. So
is it safe to say that perhaps Gareth Southgate's not on your Christmas card list?
No, not really.
No, not really. The problem with when people change names, like you're calling Southgate Slothgate, somebody like me who's awful with names, it doesn't take long before it starts to get ingrained. And I can almost feel myself about to say Gareth and
Southgate. Yeah, but the reality is, like I said, the team was so slow last night. It was the same the other night against Hungary. There was times when, honestly, I think myself, God alive, look, I said earlier, to somebody, would you take Pep Guardiola as an England manager? Right? And he said, club manager, yes. England manager, no. Why? Because he's not English. Okay, I get that. He's not English. But do you think he would do better with this team than what Southgate's doing? I mean, and he said 100%. So therefore, why would you not take a Pep Guardiola?
Because
as your manager? Because he's not English. That is the thing, isn't it?
This wasn't a talking point at all. So I'm glad I just randomly off the cuff brought it up.
No, it's good.
What you're doing there is you're promoting the national team manager's role to be bigger than what it is in modern football. No manager like a Pep Guardiola is ever going at this point of his career, where he's still highly sought of, still highly thought of, and isn't after a reclamation project of his own career, isn't going to drop down. And it would be a move down, let's not get it mistaken, to be a national team manager of any nation, whether it's England or otherwise, particularly one that isn't his home nation. I would argue that the national manager isn't what it used to be. Within the world of modern football, you want to be the best, and to be the best now, you are deemed to be a Champions League winner, a Premier League winner, or a league winner.
But then you tell that to Mancini, who won the World Cup with Italy.
But then look at Mancini's. This was the end of. I wouldn't say the end of his career, but it's certainly towards the latter part of a managerial career that has been around several locations. Like you've mentioned before, Eddie Howe. I don't see an Eddie Howe wanting to take the England job at this point of his career. He's got a lot more to prove at a domestic level.
Yeah. I mean, there was shouts. There's been some really. I mean, there were shouts for Harry Redknapp and stuff to come in. I said he would have done, and that is right. Hawks is bang on the money. He would struggle to get a Premier League job. He would not get a job in the Premier League, Southgate. And that's the thing. That is where you are with it. So if he's not good enough to get a Premier League job, why is he then good enough to get to keep the England job? Look, if he proves me wrong, I'll come on this show and say, do you know what, Gareth? You got me. I got it wrong, and like I did tonight, over misheard what you said with the other night. And if I got it wrong, then fine. Gareth Southgate, sorry, I got it wrong. Well done.
I'm with Kat. I'm not bothered about the nationality of the England man.
No, I'm not. No, not at all.
Just providing we play attractively decent football with what is arguably our
pace. We lack so much. The balls. Sometimes the balls are like passed around like it's a training exercise with the way Gareth plays. But you look at some of them. We've got a really, really high end crop of players, and yet we're not getting the best out of them.
Does any national team play with pace, though? I don't know if that's an international.
Well, you could argue, right? You could argue that Italy. I mean, Mancini completely. I mean, they had an aging squad, right, and they completely outfought us across the pitch all the way. Yes, we were 1-0 up, but that second half, Mancini changed it, and they were just on our toes all the time. And that's why, with respect, that's why. We should never have lost that. We should have gone in that first half. We should have gone hell for leather and done exactly the same in the second half. Should have gone at Italy, but we didn't. We just sat back and on a 1-0 lead, and against Croatia, we did it in the semi. We got that 1-0 lead, and we ended up losing the game. You can't sit back on a 1-0. It's the most dangerous game to ever play.
Yeah,
because you end up getting a 1-1 and heads drop. Psychology side of it, it's the worst. That's why like I was saying to you earlier about the playoffs. I'm not a fan of the playoffs. I really ain't.
No, okay. Talk about being right or wrong. Obviously, a tweet today, which is a hoax, but something we'll talk about very briefly. Scott Twine. Not the first time I've heard his name mentioned with Ipswich Town, regardless of who tweeted it, what the tweet was, or what. Whatever the situation may be. It goes without question you'd take Scott Twine, right?
Well, in a heartbeat. You'd be a fool not to, wouldn't you? I mean, look what he's done. You would. And I tweeted earlier. Well, I replied to a tweet earlier and said, look,
the hoax tweet.
Scott Twine, if he goes to Wigan, it's simply money. It has to be. It's got to be, they're going to pay him. He'll be a high-paid player at Wigan, and he's playing in the Championship. But Wigan, with respects to Wigan, they're never going up from that league. They're a yo-yo club. They've been a yo-yo club between League One and the Championship for a while now. Whereas Ipswich have got silly money back in. We've got money that we, and we've got a stadium that we fill, unlike Wigan's. I mean, Wigan should just stick to rugby, really.
Okay, interesting.
I'm just winding the Wigan fans up. Any Wigan fans watching, I'm just teasing. But no, I think if I was Scott Twine's agent, I'd give him two options. Look, you could go to Wigan. Yes, you're playing the Championship. Yes, are you going to be challenging for the top with Wigan?
Yeah, but as Kelly says, and rightfully so, they themselves, Wigan, have serious financial backing too. They're a Championship club. Many would argue they were wrongfully relegated from the Championship, and they didn't deserve to be in League One to start off with. They've now got themselves much quicker than Town did out of the third tier. I just think, is it a case? Because I'm pretty sure he's on the radar. He's on the dashboard. He'd be, if he's not, then the dashboard's broken, and you take some Phillips screwdrivers to the situation and fix it. But is it a waste of time? Would it be an absolute waste of time for the recruitment team, for Ashton, for whoever to actually actively even look into and pursuing this situation. If even if there was, even if forget about the hoax tweet I'm trying to say is a 5% chance, right? Scott Twine's available this summer. He's going somewhere. So by odds, you're in the hunt because you're a top team in the League One. 5% chance, for example, surely that's a waste of time. Like you're not, it's 5%, but you're not going to get him. There's teams in the Championship that are going to just snap him before you'd even blinked.
Look, for me, there's no reason why we can't have Scott Twine. There's no reason in this godly earth why we can't have a Scott Twine. Forgetting about the league we're in, there's no reason. We are a big club. Right, we are a big club in a little pond because that's what League One is, and we are struggling to get out of it. And if we are serious about getting out of this league, we need players like Scott Twine. And I spoke to Cruncher earlier. He's on about bringing Tom Lawrence back, but I think if things sorted out with Derby, I think it'll stay there.
Derby may have to sell though, as Bradley.
May well, yeah. It's a tough one because I would love him. I'd love him at Ipswich. I think he's everything that we need. We need that creative type of player, that player that can cross a ball and a set piece and a free kick taker as well. Because we don't have nothing like that at the club at all, do we?
No, but
that's my biggest gripe. What's the point of having all these players, these midfielders and stuff like that in the club and these wingers if they can't put a decent cross in?
Apparently, Lawrence is out of contract, which for me almost rules him out. Like once a player's out of contract, the market opens up a little bit because there's no transfer fee for clubs. So
would he come back to Ipswich? That's the thing.
Well, I don't know. But whereas, like, if you had to pay a transfer fee, that rules out some clubs because they just don't want to pay a transfer fee or they can't. When a player's out of contract, that the scope of how many clubs could make a move becomes big. And we have to bear in mind, we are a team that has not made the playoffs in League One. We have been down here for longer than we ever dreamt of, let alone wanted to be and deserved to be. And there are clubs that Wednesday made the playoff straight away. You'd have to argue, unless some major things change, they're going to be a top side again in League One, with also a good sized fan base. I look at last year, and I might be remembering the timeline different, but Sonny Bradley, centre half at Luton, did we pursue him too eagerly, too aggressively, whatever it might have been, for ultimately the player to turn around and say, yeah, thanks, but no thanks, I'll stay in the Championship. And then we turned around and thought, well, okay, where do we go now? Because from memory, it wasn't the next week we signed George Edmondson. It was some weeks, possibly a month down the line.
The problem was, again, doesn't it? We had the Paul Cook effect. We don't really know what Paul Cook had and how much input he had. Maybe he was so set on getting this defender from Luton that he was like pushing, Ashton to sort the deal out. Look, people are putting a price tag of around about £5 million for Scott Twine. Now, in all fairness, that's pittance these days. £5 million for a player of Scott Twine's ability.
It isn't when you're England's third tier.
Why? Championship now, you're paying this the 15 to 20 to 25 to 30 million pound for players
in the Championship.
It doesn't matter, no, but we're in League One, so we're, in the why wouldn't you play? Look, if we are serious about getting out of this league, we would need the type of players like Scott Twine.
So
because I can tell you now, if we're sat here next year and we've made the playoffs because we've only just made the playoffs and we've done what MK Dons have done, lost in the final, I'm telling you now, fans are going to be absolutely raging and absolutely pissed off. Another year in League One. Can you imagine that? I said this to Cruncher earlier, we cannot, and we will not, and we should not tolerate another year in League One. This year should be the year where we should be pushing for automatic promotion, not the playoffs, automatic promotion, and going for that, because that should be where we should be as a club. If we are serious about getting out of this league. Otherwise, if we make the playoffs, great, we made the playoffs. We have a semi-final, we might beat the team in the semi-final over 2 games. Wow, we get to the final, we have a nice day, we paint the faces up, we go there and we do what MK Don fans did, thinking that we should and probably should have won that game, and then bang, boom, we're walking home with faces as long as a wet weekend, and we've lost the game and we're still in League One. And then we start watching our good players leave because they don't want to stay there any longer. And that's...
Yeah, I hear you. However, there's a couple of things. First of all, I'm not quite sure he'll go for 5 million. I don't know if that...
No, I'm just... That's what's been touted about. That's what I've been...
Be the fee that he ends up going for. Second of all, I still don't... It's still a lot of outlay for a team in England's third tier. I'm not even quite sure what championship... There's many championship teams who'd perhaps look at it at 5 million and say, I ain't sure. I mean, we were one of them for 15 odd years. If you told us, anyone was over 500 grand, well, that was us immediately out. I just think where we are in our journey as a football club. I get what you're saying. Yes, of course, if you've lost the playoff final, you're going to be upset. But there's no guarantee just because you've signed Scott Twine for 5 million in your world, you are going to win or finish second in League One, because MK Dons are on our fixture list next year, my friend, and they had Scott Twine. So to commit, as you're suggesting here, £5 million on a player that still doesn't necessarily get you over the...
I'm not saying I'd pay £5 million. I'm just saying that's what the amount is. But if we talk about Scott Twine's £5 million, there was fans talking about paying £3 million for Bond.
True. Although he's reportedly going for, or there's a rumour for $1 million to Wednesday. I still don't. I see what you're saying. I'm just not quite sure. I'm at the train. I'm at the same point you are. I just can't say. Like, when our highest record fee is $4.5 million still, and that was back in 2001.
I know, but that's like 20 years ago. Let's be fair.
Well, I'd be interested to put that through the rate of football inflation calculator.
I reckon that's probably in the region of about 14-15 million now.
I might do that before the show closes tonight, just because I think that'd be interesting to see what that would look like. But Cruncher, you'd be watching on iFollow, Mike.
He'd be watching.
Mike D didn't fully spend. They did spend 12 million on Ross McCormack. They did. I think we'd be better off. Of course, checking in, seeing what the situation is with someone like a Scott Twine. But I think we'd be better off finding the next Scott Twine. That's where we are, is our journey of a football club. We had our opportunity last season.
Isn't that every club though? Every club's looking for that. The reason why Man United won so many trophies in their time was because they would take players.
Man United had the feel of their players. You're talking about almost sure bets there. I'm talking about, like, say, for example, put 2 clubs, pull one from the Championship and put it with us. I would argue they've got more of a chance of signing Scott Twine than we have. Luton, for example.
I'm not going to say wrong. I'm not going to say right. I would
could match the offer we could match. They got more of a chance to sign a Scott Twine than we have. We had our chance last year for whatever reason.
On that, yeah, I'd agree with that. On that note, I'd agree with it. So if you had, like you said, who's the bloody chuck? I think he was in Championship. Say Middlesbrough come in. Yeah, I could see Scott Twine going to Middlesbrough because they're a big club. You could argue Sunderland could come in for him.
Again, a higher league now than us.
But they're a big club. They're looking to progress, aren't they? I just can't see Wigan. I mean, Wigan struggle to get anywhere near the type of fan base that we've got within their stadiums, and I mean, even their away support, I think, was about 470. I mean, with respect, we take more on our under 19s than we do what Wigan did on our away games.
Doesn't matter. They've got the financial backing. They could do it. And my point, Crunch, about Luton wasn't about the size of budgets. It was about all things considered, all things level. Many fans would look at Luton and say, "Oh, Town are a much bigger club than Luton," and that might well be true. But right now, in the world of football, all budgets the same. Luton would have the foot up on a Scott Twine coming up from League One, because they are in a league above. We have to be real here as just Town fans and acknowledge our failings, acknowledge our faults, and hope and pray for someone like Scott Twine. But it ain't going to happen. Not in a
You know,
million.
I just get annoyed. I get upset and I get annoyed when fans say there's no way we're going to get him. No way we're going to get him. No way to get him. Look, until we don't get him, there's always that chance, and that's the way I look at it. You know, who else would you go for? Who else would you go for? You'd have to go for, you know, and that's
All right.
You know, we went for the probably second best rated midfielder in that league last season, Scott Fraser. And we ended up selling him because he never played in his right position.
Martin, that was not fired just yet. Fucking hell, man. Sorry, man. I'm trying to be on a level with you all here. I'm trying to sort of talk it through how I see it. I don't often get that opportunity. What we have got for definite is 3 more years of midfielder Cameron Humphreys, who signed a 3-year deal with the Blues. He said in his interview, if you've not seen it, go to itfc.co.uk or Twitter or wherever you find your ITFC sort of media. He says, I'm delighted. The only club I've played for, so happy to stay here. I've enjoyed my time so far and hope that continues. What do you make of the young up and coming star?
I like Humphreys. I think he's got to train with the first team more. I think I liked when he came on at Charlton. I liked his busyness. I liked the fact he wanted the ball all the time, demanded the ball. Not wanted, demanded the ball. Closed players down when the ball was near him and he needed to get it off the opposition. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, Charlton had nothing to go in there," but look, at the end of the day, he's a young lad, and you know, you don't get a 3-year deal at Ipswich. You know, now I would say you probably would have done under Evans' era, but now we've got a new era. You know, Kieran McKenna, Mike Ashton, Pert, and the club are not going to just take on Humphreys and sign him on a 3-year deal if they didn't think that he had potential. Crunch is all about moving him out on loan, but
I think that is his next move.
Yeah, but what happened with Dyer? If we had Kieran Dyer, players like that, you know, Marcus, Darren Bent, you know, they were given chances in the first team while we were in the Championship. You know, why can't we give Cameron Humphreys a go? You know, just because he's a young lad, why shouldn't we play these players? You know, give him a chance. We've got chances in friendlies. We've got some friendlies coming up. Let the boy go out there and learn how to. You know, he's a creative midfield player. Something we're bloody gagging, really. You know, we are so gagging for a real quality playmaker, someone who can get his head up and look for that diagonal pass or that short pass or that through ball pass or that simple pass, and that's what he offers, I think. And from what I've seen of him, and I just think that just because he's a young lad, why should we have to send him out on loan? No, look, if at the end of the day, it's Kieran McKenna will make the decision. If he thinks he's good enough to play for the first team or be around the first team, so be it.
Absolutely. Know? Yeah. And who better to make a judgment? Some of them, somebody who has a good record at developing young players. I remember sitting in this very chair a year or so ago, and I remember talking about Luke Wolfenden and saying, you know, with young players, it's not always a level. It's sometimes up, it's sometimes down. They're sometimes good and sometimes they're not good. And as fans, we have to be prepared to be on that roller coaster with them and be prepared. Some weeks we're not going to see a 7 out of 10, an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10. Some weeks it's going to be a 4 or a 5. Other weeks they're going to think, Christ, this guy is a really good player. That's why I would say someone like Humphreys needs to go and get that loan spell, because I'll use another young player as an example. Midway through the campaign, Idris signs an extension to his contract. There was fans saying more or less the exact same thing you were saying just there, Mike. Young player. This has been rewarded. The manager's seen something in him. We have to trust the manager. If he sees something in him, he should be in around the squad. Great that we've signed him up long term. Then he comes into the team for a couple of occasions, doesn't play the best, that young player roller coaster I was just talking about, and that's it. Bin him, he's not good enough. He needs to go this summer. He isn't where we need to be going. That's all it takes for someone like Humphreys next season, if he isn't around the first team. Come in, play poorly on a couple of occasions, and fans quickly get off that roller coaster ride with you and
I
say,
think
I'm not quite sure about him.
I think the problem is, I think we have to be careful with where he goes in. If he's going to go out on loan, I'm not saying no to the idea. What I'm saying, if he was to go out on loan, he's got to go to a club and that's going to play him. You know, I wasn't never really that impressed with El-Miz anyway, so I was never a great fan of his. Whereas Kieran Dyer was always like, you know, even Darren Ambrose. I used to watch him, and it was sad really, because there's so many young players that back in the day that sort of came in but never, you know, they did well and did really well, but then the managers dropped them, you know.
Well, yeah. I hear you. I understand what you're saying, and many agree with you in the chat. Hox is with you, for example. Harry's also with you. Give him a go. I'd rather he went out on just go and have that young player roller coaster where you're not under the microscope, where you can be up, you can be down, you can be inconsistent. You're somebody else's inconsistent, which is I know it's a very, very different model, but that's what Chelsea do. They take these young players and then they go and let them be somebody else's inconsistent player until they're a more consistent player for your first team. Hopefully, that's what maybe Corey and Darby will be next year, a more consistent defender that's a year into his development. I would say that the same has to happen with El-Miz, and with Cameron Humphreys. Go and be somebody else's inconsistent enigma. Go and be.
I think El-Miz has had enough loans. If I'm brutally honest, I think
he had one that was cut short at Cambridge.
Yeah. Like I said, I think Dobra
but I can remember that loan spell, Mike, on Twitter after a Saturday game when we had lost or not played well. You come onto social media, see El-Miz has scored a free kick for Cambridge or whatever, and people were going, why is he not in our first team? Get him back and get him out. We're too early as fans just to say whether something's good or bad. The young player.
No, I think the way we have to look at this is let him have some let him have a pre-season with the first team. Let bring him on, say, like I say, either bring him on for half an hour or have 45 minutes with him starting, 45 minutes bringing in, I guess your starters, and just see how the lad performs. I mean, the end of the day is if he performs to the standard that we all hope and that Kieran Dyer seems to think, then realistically, there's no reason why he can't start for us, why he can't be part of our first team, part of our promotion team. We are crying out for a creative midfielder. He offers that creative midfielder thing, and people look. I get that, and say, look, we've got to go and get some battle scars, and come back in the champion as a next year championship player, right? That's all very well saying that. Go and get battle scars. Oh yeah, so we'll send him out on loan to League Two. He gets a battle scar, ends his career. Yeah, that's great. Football's played on bowling greens now. Right, and what we don't want to be sending a player like that, a creative midfielder, into a league where the grounds are absolutely shocking. They're bad enough in League One, but if we start sending him to low league or non-league or whatever, then he could end up with a cruciate, a medial ligament, or break or anything like that in them lower leagues. Look, reality is he's a creative midfielder, so let him create. Let him start with us and let him play in our first team, and let's just get him creating.
Okay. All right. Fair points. You've just read Lewis's comment out there. Again, Lewis, we can't say it's promotion or bust next year and then say we need to be starting Baggett or Humphreys. They are unproven playing regular pro football. We need season pros next year to go.
Maybe like Selena, who had one good game in 10.
Selena, Bradley. One of my mates, Cole U fan, said Dobra is utter crap. I don't think he's great at getting red cards. Another red card.
Dobra, but yeah, he's got to look. I'm afraid he's out.
Pressure's on for next season to gain promotion. Need seasoned pros. Hox, you say that, Mike. God's honest. Most of the non-league pitches I've seen this season have been better than League One. And he has
really.
Yes, in a lot of
absolutely. No, he sees them. No, I'll stand corrected on that.
There you go. Pitches were worse 100% among the late 70s, early 80s at the top level. Louis, you've heard it all tonight. What do you make of it?
Yeah, guys. It's good, I think, because he's a youngster, isn't he? I guess, and he keeps him for a few years. I think I would like to see him stay. I don't really want to see him go out on loan because I just think it's getting too similar with all these young players going out on loan, and then there's so many professionals in the squad, and they don't get a chance, in my opinion. I think him and Baggett, they're two very promising young players who I think have really good potential to be really good pros. I'm not sure whether I start him. I think we do need a proven player, to start, because we really do need to get out of this league, I think, next season. But I would definitely keep him as someone who, as like a backup option, and someone, if one of them gets injured, like Chaplin or maybe a new number 10 that we do come in, for him to come in and step up. And the same with
Baggett. He
could
be an impact player, couldn't he? An impact sub. He can come on as a sub and make a difference, yeah.
That's what I think. But yeah, I do agree, though. Yeah, he's definitely got potential to start. But yeah, I reckon we could do it this season. I reckon.
Lots of bodies in midfield, though, Louis. You've got Evans, Ball, Morsey, El Miz if he hangs around. Obviously, Cameron Humphreys himself. You've got Raheem Harper returning back from his loan spell. Lots of bodies in that midfield area.
I saw a thing earlier about a potential lineup we could have, and it said maybe to get a new midfielder to partner up with Morsey. But thing is, I don't know if do you think Lee Evans can do it, or do you think we need someone else? Maybe
isn't that what Dominic Ball is, Mike?
Sorry,
isn't that what Dominic Ball is? Your new midfielder to partner with Sam.
Is he, or is he more of a backup? I don't know.
It's a strange signing, Ball. Look, I'm happy with it. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's a tough one with that. I don't know what McKenna's thinking. I think there's a possibility that we are going to play two up front next season, which mean Ball and Morsey as a holding. Morsey's got to play his best football position, and that is a holding mid. That is his best role. That is his best play. He can dictate play there, work alongside with Ball, and then we would have that number 10 sitting behind sitting behind the two strikers, and that gives us so much option.
Yeah,
that really does. That gives us so much to play around with, and we've got other players that can come in and fit into that jigsaw puzzle. I just feel that, like I said, if you've got Chappers or Labardi or whatever, it's a tough one. It's a tough one but Evans for me,
he's a bit
got to come back and show more than what he did last year.
He was a bit hit and miss, I thought, really.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
He started off poorly. I think when Morsey came in, he started doing well, and then he sort of faded away. I think the game he got the hat trick, he sort of had a bit of confidence, but then I think the second half it sort of went a bit wrong. But he did have injuries, so it's like,
look, Lee Evans, I've seen a bit of footage on YouTube, and he can put a decent cross in from set piece. He can do a good pass and stuff, but it's just not worked out for him last season with us. He was like you rightly say, he's too hit and miss. It'd be interesting to see who goes this year. I think we're concentrating on who's staying, who's coming in and whatever, but I'm interested to find out who's going to be leaving this club and going. Which, for me would be, I've said it. I said Dobra. I would get rid of. I'd get rid of Harper. Players like that really. So because they ain't really good enough. Proven that. Harper didn't exactly pull up trees where he went, and yeah.
Okay. Lewis says people seem to be forgetting how influential Evans was prior to his injury alongside Sam Morsey.
They are good. They are all right next to each other. I mean, they have experience.
Well, they with each other, Wigan, but
still not for me.
Sorry,
not for me.
But no, I'm with you on mine on this.
I'm being selfish. I'm being selfish. I want a nice new shiny toy. Do you know what I mean? Evans is okay, but I saw what he did last year. For me,
Evans would be a bench player.
Fair point. Louis, before I let you go, what pre-season friendly are you most looking forward to?
Probably West Ham, to be honest with you. So yeah. Have you guys seen, by the way, the kit, by the way? Because I've heard apparently Umbro is going to be our new manufacturer.
Yeah, but that is the rumour doing the rounds. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, it's all right, yeah. I wouldn't have been bothered, to be honest, who it is.
Not as nice as Adidas. Oh, I can't believe we're with Adidas again.
I honestly thought it was going to be Nike, to be honest.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Do you like Adidas, dear, Mike?
Like
Sorry?
Do
you like Adidas, dear?
Yeah.
It's all right, yeah.
Yeah, I think it just suits, with the badges, the 3 stars, and it just suits the shirt. I just think it looks good.
Now. It's quite iconic.
Umbro for me just reminds me of, I don't know.
They remind me of that. Huddersfield, they remind me of that Huddersfield kit with that Paddy Power thing they had once.
Don't even get me started. Yeah, I tell you what, Adidas, right, is your designer and stuff like that. Yeah, right. Umbro is your market street sellers stuff. That's why I see Umbro.
Nothing wrong with that. I'd buy it then.
I know. I'm not just
Perhaps I'll make
your Sunday market. Your Stetson market T-shirt. That's what I call Umbro.
Perhaps it'll be more affordable next season then, because I haven't bought any top for the last God knows how long.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they want to reduce
import for me, because I ain't paying 50 quid or whatever it is for a shirt. Not a chance. Not particularly.
I don't know. Just Ipswich, isn't it? If it had been Marcus Evans, I swore that I would never pay outright price for Marcus Evans shirt. So I always bought the shirts when they were in the sale towards the end of their life, rather than when they were at their full price. I weren't going to give Marcus Evans a penny of my money.
Fair enough.
I don't blame you.
Right, Louis, we appreciate you.
Cheers,
look after you.
All the best, my man.
For those that are perhaps not aware, the pre-season friendlies I was just referring to, there have been I guess, announced for a better word today. I'm now going to put them on the screen. Just give me a minute to grab it. It is Needham Market, West Ham, AFC Wimbledon, Southend were in there from memory. Is that right?
Mighty Southend.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with Southend, son. I can't grab it. So it's Needham Market, West Ham, AFC Wimbledon, Millwall, and then Southend. The 2 home games are West Ham and Southend. Both are Tuesday night, 7 p.m. kickoffs. What do you think of the pre-season friendlies that lined up then?
I said to Cruncher, I was kind of open, look, it'd be nice if we could get back how it was, the old European sort of friendlies, go abroad to Holland, somewhere like that, Holland, Germany, whatever. But yeah, I'm underwhelmed with the friendlies. I ain't gonna lie, but then I know there's a few more in there. You got a Bury Town fixture, ain't you? So, I said, look, a couple of sort of one Premiership side, one Championship side. It'll be a bit of a test, bit of a run out for some of the players, and we'll know. I guess like I said, I'll give a chance for Kieran McKenna to see where we are. And
you would have thought that West Ham one would have come a little bit too early. Do you think for any of the major stars, inverted brackets, to be playing?
Don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have thought West Ham would have probably been later in July, really, but
here it is, 12th of July. Obviously, AFC Wimbledon. That'll be a good little test, I think. AFC Wimbledon away. They're a side that at times troubled us with their spell in League One. At other times didn't.
Absolutely.
We struggled against those sort of teams last year. So that will be a good run out, I think.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, I was. Will I be going to any of them? Probably. I might try and go to West Ham one. Pick my brother up, go and watch that together. It was that would have been nice if we could have gone abroad though. Players go up against some of these foreign teams and get new ideas.
But like transfers, we only get those luxuries when you get back to being a decent team.
But we are a big. Look, I keep saying that we're a big club in a small pond, and we have a right.
It doesn't matter when you're building a pre-season fixture list, for example. Like Rich will call the French league the Farmers' League, right? Well, if the top league's the Farmers League in Rich's world, what's the second tier quality going to be like? Like that's the level you're going to be playing against. Really, you ain't going to be getting Marseille's rock at the Portman Road for a 7:45 kickoff, are you?
What's wrong with playing Marseille?
Absolutely nothing. I don't think Marseille.
You play Marseille or Paris Saint-Germain, PSG.
Yeah, but I doubt PSG are going to be looking at
Mbappe at Portman Road. We'd be a sellout. We would sell. That would be a record crowd. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, it would be. But what's in it for PSG?
No, exactly. I know. I agree. But no, look, I'm underwhelmed. But at the same time, they need these friendlies, don't they, to play and stuff. And you know, it is, you know, with the season coming up and like new season tickets and stuff. Oh, that's a good point, actually. Season tickets. I'm going to mention this. Going to give Cruncher a big shout out. You know,
what's he done?
Lovers or haters of Cruncher out there, that lad is really done well with this with what he's done with this. 4,000 subscribers to this channel. Yeah, he gets 4,000. He's going to buy a season ticket for an adult and a child. Yeah, Morsey, our captain, is going to do exactly the same. So come on, look. You know, and there's others now coming forward. So come on, look, let's get Cruncher. Let's take some money from Cruncher. Let's give it to a fan. Yeah. You know, if you hate him, look, you're taking some money off him and whatever. If you love him, you know, it's a great gesture. It really is. And I think it's one that, you know, he always seems to pull it out of the bag, you know, and I think this needs to be done. 4,000 subscribers. And how far are we now? How far are we away?
We are 424 away.
Come on, there's got to be 424 fans out there or whatever. There's got to be just to subscribe. It would just click the like button and follow, and that's it. You know, really isn't that hard. You ain't got to even like the show. If you don't even like the show, do it. You know, just do it that you take some money out of Cruncher's pocket. You know.
It's roughly about 8 a day, as I keep saying.
Yeah, it's nothing, is it?
About 8 a day, which if you obviously, you know, if you've got a partner, a brother, a sister, a mother, a father, a friend, a dog, a cat, a goldfish, whatever it might be that you've got in your personal life, they can all have a Google account. That's all you need to register and then subscribe. Is a Google account. That's all you need. You know, and if you goldfish,
it's coming out of his personal. Well, it's coming out of his personal pocket, isn't it? You know,
and got his nephew to sub.
Ah, good lad. You know, like I said, I've got Alex, I've got my boys here, I've got my daughters here. I'll get all them. I know Jake's already a subscriber, and I know my son Josh.
Are their partners, and their partners' mum and dad, and their partners' cousins?
Exactly. See, look, 424, 24, 25, whatever it is, to hit the 4,000. You know, there's 2 fans out there. There's going to be a young junior fan and 1 adult getting a season ticket. Yeah, how good is that?
Don't forget. Lewis Robinson's going to chuck in a home or away shirt for a subscriber of choice. We get 4,000. There you go. You see,
bravo, Lewis. Yeah.
Yes, we are at the end. We're coming to the end of the show. We've somehow packed nearly an hour in. You were right. I was wrong. You said we'd be able to do it, and I said we'd never do it. I nearly pulled the chain on tonight's show. I'm glad I didn't. 58 minutes into what has been a fantastic conversation. Let's bring in Colin to round off tonight's proceedings.
There he is.
You've been very patient with us, so I appreciate you, my friend. First of all, we'll start with the friendlies. Needham, West Ham, AFC, Millwall, and then Southend. Those are the 5. What do you make of the pre-season lineup?
Well, like I said to Rich earlier on, like everybody else has said, but pretty underwhelmed, really. The West Ham game I'll probably go to. The Needham game I'll probably go to. I was toying on going to Wimbledon, but I think I would prefer, although it obviously won't be the first team, I'd probably prefer to go to, I can do Wimbledon another day. I'll probably prefer to go to Ram Meadow and support the Martin Swallow Cup.
The 16th, isn't it?
Sorry, Gav?
That's the 16th, isn't it? The same day we play Wimbledon.
That's the same day as we play Wimbledon, Gav. So, But, it's a funny one. I mean, you know, like I said to Rich earlier on, I mean, my dad, he used to hardly ever go to a pre-season friendly. He just used to call them glorified training sessions.
Well, they are.
And
Particularly these days with the water breaks, that no doubt they'll be factoring in. Colin, Louis asks, and you're a great proponent, a great supporter of the young players coming through. Humphreys, Cameron, do you see him as a future Town captain?
I see him very much as a future Town player. Whether that would be a captain or not, I'm not quite so sure. But yeah, I was absolutely made up today when I heard the news for him, and obviously Kieran said what he said about him, and good on him. He'd obviously brought him up, and he'd seen him for a long time. Up at the training ground and everything, but now we've obviously got the new regime in, and they've had a really good look at Cam, and obviously very much liked what they've seen. And I personally, I mean, a lot of people might disagree with me. I personally would be not amazed, but I would be surprised if he actually got loaned out. I think he would be kept. I personally think, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, because obviously I don't know. I'm just using, I'm just surmising. But would I keep him as a very good bench option? Yes, I absolutely would. And I totally agree with Mike, what he said earlier on. Yeah, he'd be a great option from the bench, I think, for next season.
Well, some of the town youth players rate him. In Millwall, Millwall Town have had a few sort of players come over to play with their first team. I think it's under 18s or whatever, come over and sort of been loaned to Millwall, and they come into my Chinese, and they love the chicken chow mein, by the way. So Town players like chicken chow mein. They come in, and I talk about football with them, and I've asked them about certain players, and and Humphreys has been one that's been mentioned a few times, and so if these young lads see him as a good player, then McKenna and obviously the club see him as a good player, I think there's a bloody good chance he could start. So there we are.
I mean, it's
Chicken chow mein. Whoa, run it back. There's more important things to talk about just right now. Chicken chow mein, Connie, is that for you? Because I've never seen the appeal of a chicken chow mein. Like, if you go into a Chinese restaurant, there's so many quality options you could be having. Why are you having a chicken chow mein? What do you think of a chicken chow mein?
I don't eat a lot of Chinese food, if I'm honest, but I tell you what I do like.
That's how you keep your figure so slender. Yeah, that's what we're missing out here, Mike. You see, I'll
tell you what I do. I'll tell you what I do like from the Chinese down Guildhall Street in Bury. I do like curry sauce and chips.
Oh, you ain't had a curry sauce until you've been to mine, mate. I swear to God.
Oh, that
curry sauce honestly, my Chinese.
Honestly, Mike, that curry sauce from the Guildhall one near the Black Boy, that's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. If you ever in Millwall, mate, come at Sunrise. Their Chinese is phenomenal. And I've worked for Chinese people for the Chinese for quite a few years, and I'm not one. Yeah, salt. Actually, Mike D, you're bang on the money there, mate. Salt and pepper squid. That is a naughty dish.
Okay. Anyway, back to Cameron Humphreys. Sorry, I just want to clear this. Where the chow mein was up in the history. Go on, Colin. So you don't think a loan spell would do him well?
I'm not saying the loan spell wouldn't do him well. I personally think I'm a great believer. You know me by now, Mike and Gov. I'm a great believer in the old Bobby Robson adage that if you're good enough, you're old enough. And I personally think this lad comes in the category of he's good enough, and if he's good enough, he's old enough, and if he's good enough and old enough, he should be staying at the club with all the season pros and learning from them. And even if it's just at the start of the season, like the first 8, 9, 10, 11 games, he's from a bench or not even off the bench, but but in and around that first team all the time. That's going to do him the world of good. Now, I love Lewis Robertson to bits, but would I like to see him go out to a Division 2 club? I'm with Mike on that one. I'm not overly sure about that. If he was to go to a decent league, and there are a few, to be fair. If he was to go to a decent League 2 side, who plays a lot of football and could benefit a little bit from it, I wouldn't be too adverse to it. But no, I'd prefer him to stay. If it comes across in the next week or two, which it will, I'm sure one way or the other that he's staying with the lads, so to speak, I'll be more than happy, Gav. Okay,
perfect. Colin, no kit today, no transfers today. We're going to make a transfer soon, do you think? Is it going to be one this week, or no news this week? What do you think?
Like I said to Rich, I still think I think Hawks is kind of delving into this a little bit as well. I still think this kit thing not coming out and maybe a marquee signing also not coming out as yet seems a little bit of a coincidence to me. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm probably a million miles off, but I wouldn't be surprised if that marquee signing and the kit come out at the same time.
Okay. All right. Well,
that is a good shout. I never thought of looking at it like that, Colin. We're going about skepticism. You imagine brand new kit and a marquee signing. Imagine this, right? It's going to just imagination. Just close your eyes a second, guys, and think Scott Twine, new kit. Oh,
not happening. Not happening. The new kit.
Wouldn't it be good, Colin? That would be the ultimate. Big signing like that and the kit on the same day.
That would be my perfect dream at this moment in time.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you.
Just quickly, Gav and Mike, talking about everybody's going on about the Umbro. I was saying to Rich today. I mean, you boys won't remember it, but I can remember it, and it was a lovely kit. It was not long after Beattie first got in the side, and we had the blue kit. With blue, not the white collars, but with blue collars and a little V-neck, and that was Umbro, and we was with Umbro for a little while in the early 70s, and those kits were really nice. They really were first class. And also, what you've got to remember is when you think of Umbro have been going about for a long, long time, and also. The 1966 World Cup final, that lovely, beautiful red kit, that was made by Umbro.
Okay. Yeah.
Talking of which, we'll end on a kit, but I do agree with Ash. I think they want to milk the PR and the content around a new signing and the kit. I think they'll separate those two because that is a content dream, isn't it? You've got two content there. Why waste it and just go with one? Like last year, maybe with 19 new signings, but this year with maybe a handful. You got to fill the days somehow.
I get what I genuinely think that the kit's going to be released on the day that we make a marquee signing.
All right. Okay. Right. So on Monday's show, I asked the lads for kit what they would do with the kit. Obviously, leave some room for artistic, artistic downfall. I don't have any artistic nature, so when I designed it with them in mind. Well, I'm not very good, basically, is what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way. So this is Steve's vision. What do you think of this? Mike, you've reacted. What do you think of this one?
Oh, no. That looks like a non-league kit.
Okay.
That's not great. Oh, no.
Right. This was TJ's, Colin.
Not bad, but I'd rather have Mr. Sheeran on the front.
That reminds me of a proper old school kit, doesn't it? That's with the old button top. It's a bit sort of Green King 1990s type kit, isn't it?
I'll tell you, by the way, Gav, because you're a bit of a royalist, and I said this to Rich the other day. On that Sunday, when Ed Sheeran was being interviewed at the back on the back of the stage.
I still haven't seen that.
Just prior to coming on, they interviewed him and they said to him, bearing in mind there was hundreds of thousands outside, going out to billions, literally billions worldwide. They said to Ed Sheeran, are you feeling nervous? And he said, no, can't wait to get on there. And he got on there, picked his guitar up, started singing, perfect, and started singing the song perfect, and it was perfect. And he's an Ipswich fan, which makes it even more perfect.
Well, fair enough. Any
more kits? I was quite enjoying that bit.
Yeah. I've got my one. This is my. This is Umbro. So, because I stuck the task. My Steve and TJ, they want Hummel. They're like everybody else. But I thought, well, I've heard Umbro, so I'm going to go with Umbro here. This was my vision. Now, bear in mind, the away strip for this, the counterpart is black and red for the 92 vibes. This was my home kit. What do you think of that, Mr. Brown?
Can I say something?
It's too much like Peterborough kit.
Okay, all right. Colin?
I think it's different and I kind of like it, But I'll tell you what I liked even more, Mr. Lambert.
What did you like?
More red and black strip.
Oh, my away. Okay.
Oh, yes. Let's have a look at the. Let's come on.
That was a little bit horny.
Yeah, come on. Oh, that's naughty. Oh,
we love that.
You see that? That is an away kit. That's a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's an away kit. That's a promotion away kit. That is. Yeah.
Oh, I do love playing away.
Do you remember?
I don't make it into trouble.
Gav, do you remember what I put last night on the comments about that?
Yes, I did.
We wore that when we were the bollocks.
The dog's pajamas. Absolutely. Guys, it's been a great show. I loved it. I appreciate you coming on, Colin. Lou, you do look after yourself. We'll hopefully speak soon. Louis says that's a legendary away kit. Love it. Cheers, Louis. You can come back again, my friend. I don't know.
You have pulled that out of the bag. I ain't gonna lie. I weren't keen on the home kit, but away kit.
When you see the away kit, the home kit makes a little bit more sense because it's bringing that red into it. You see, so there's a little bit of a tie. But I do understand the red probably makes it, But the red and black, that's a bit of a favourite. I like it. Look at that. I mean, I can't take too much credit because it's literally just red and black stripes. Like,
but to me it makes sense. It gives you that, that is that's a naughty shirt. So shirt, look, with these home shirts and away shirts, they're done for two reasons, obviously for the colours of the shirt and all that, but they're done to sell.
Yeah.
I mean this one here, I reckon this is sold silly amounts of money, isn't it? This one's sold so many different shirts, outsold anything else of the last God knows how many years. But yeah, a home shirt. It's got to be blue and it's got to be white. I don't want to see any other colours in it other than blue and white.
Cheers,
maybe
Gary.
like I said, I like these pinstripes on this one. It's one of my favourite shirts. This one.
And I'm a little bit upset nobody got the Soccer AM London Danny Dyer segment clips they used to do. Do you remember the I think it was Fenners, was the London I used to I do love playing away.
Oh my god, yeah. God, a long while ago that.
Oh yeah, well I'm old, despite the devilishly handsome good looks.
I'm not even going to go there with my lovely
Although
I do look like I'm bald. Sorry?
Yeah, that's the name, Frankie Fryer. Cruncher says, "God, block me in the chat." Well, chat shit, get banged, Crunch. Chat shit, get banged. Louis, come on, Ricky. On the home kit. It looked good. Frankie Fryer. There we go. They finally got it. Anyway, we're done. We're dusted. Mike, you are the fisherman. You've got them all on strings. Until next time.